Good morning, Brownsville. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you are watching this feed. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Frankie Olivo. Our program focuses on the very important issues that are happening within the city of Brownsville and our surrounding areas. It has been our mission to talk about those tough discussions that many do not want to talk about. In this program, we focus on the injustices, allowing our platform to be the voice of the community. We want to be transparent. We all want a better Brownsville, but are we willing to do what's necessary? Are we willing to fight? Our program has come on before you day in and day out with the idea that if our local politicians cannot do what is in our best interest, we will gladly take the reins for them. If this is something that you see yourself being a part of, I encourage you to like, comment, and share this live feed. We come on every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. If this is a cause that you are in support of, we ask that you subscribe to our pages on social media. More importantly, on YouTube, we could be found under Frankie Olivo TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, así los quería ver. Bien puntuales. ¿Por qué será? ¿De qué vamos a hablar? We understand the power that this mic brings. And over these next 2 days, we will be talking about very, very delicate matters. We'll be bringing to light and exposing board members, people in leadership positions, educators, administrators that have turned a blind eye to things that have been happening. Over these next 2 days, we'll be focusing on Rivera High School. Unfortunately, as we all know, and the reasons why you tuned in is for this. The moment, ladies and gentlemen, that you've all been waiting for is here. It's time for Good Morning Brownsville's Heavyweight Championship of the World. Do you have your taco ready? Do you have your coffee ready? I promise you, today's and tomorrow's program will be very interesting. And our goal is to shed to light circumstances that are affecting our educators, but more importantly, the children here locally. What I want to stress in this 2-part series is that the district is headed for self-destruction. The respect is gone. Policies, procedures are not being followed. We will present information today and tomorrow that will show a wide web of negligence that has ultimately affected the livelihoods of everyone as a whole. But the worst thing about it is that the ones that it has affected has been our children. Throughout the course of today's program, I want you to focus on important issues. Today and tomorrow, we'll be talking about the Rivera Early College High School. We will show that board members are playing the politics game and they're only in it for themselves. Today's show, and before I start, got to take advantage of, we got crazy numbers, chat. If you haven't already, make sure you stop by Human Being, located on Alton Glore, for all your coffee, refreshments. Summer's right around the corner. Don't let the heat get to you. Make sure you try their teas. They have great variety. The Human Being is owned by a local entrepreneur from the city of Brownsville. They are opening a new location by Four Corners on Boca Chica. So if you haven't already, make sure you stop by with our friends at the Human Being and let them know Frankie Olivo sent you from watching Good Morning Brownsville. Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, we'll be showing that this has been a game that has affected the livelihoods of educators. It has affected the livelihoods of children. Their lives will be changed forever. Today's program will be focusing on the demise of the athletic department at Rivera High School. And throughout the program, I want y'all to focus on something very, very important. And I want this to be resonating throughout the show. Rivera High School has made the press for all the bad reasons. And this isn't something that happened from one year to the next. No, we will show a pattern of what has been happening, of negligence. And what has that caused? That has caused individuals to lose faith in our school district. Throughout this program today and tomorrow, again, today and tomorrow's program is going to be very, very juicy. And I hope you make plans to watch. We know that administrators are watching. We know that the Glass Palace has been tuning in. Heck, we were even accused of saying, hey, because of you, no one at Rivera, no one across BISD will be working at from 9 to 10. Everybody's going to be tuning in to Good Morning Brownsville. So I hope you tune in tomorrow as well. Throughout the program, I want y'all to ask yourselves a very important question, ladies and gentlemen. Which board member that you see here on the screen would have the insights? And currently right now, crazy. Viewership is crazy. But which one of these board members would have the insights into the day in and day out life of what is happening at Rivera High School? You could possibly guess where I'm going. But again, I'm only as good as my facts, ladies and gentlemen. And what we will be talking about today is about an individual that has been lying to you. They've been hooping and hollering and making us think about others while they themselves are a part of a severe negligent, and they've been fostering an environment that has been hostile, that has been causing grown men, women to fear for their jobs, for their livelihoods. We thought that once Sylvia Atkinson was no longer at BISD, we thought, we have knight in shining armors that will help us get through this tumultuous time that has been plaguing the district. It is no secret that all eyes are on Brownsville ISD. It's important for us to recognize that at the rate we're going is self-destruction. If we do not clean up our act, if we do not hold these board members accountable, best believe that TEA will come down hard. I'm glad that you're tuning in because it is important for us to recognize and call out these board members. I wake up every day committed to my community. I show my face. I tell you what's going on. I have no agendas. All I want is to provide a better community for you and I, and for all our future generations. Now, working in a hostile environment could be very detrimental to an employee's well-being. It could affect job performance, the overall work experience. It could manifest as either through discrimination, through harassment, intimidation. That is something that we will be talking about for these next 2 days. And this working in this hostile environment will lead to a decrease in job satisfaction, morale, stress, anxiety, and even depression. Now, themes that we will be mentioning in this program will be retaliation, abuse, negligence, and harassment. We are proud to say that we will be your voice. We will be your champion, because at the end of the day, all eyes are on BISD, and best believe, ladies and gentlemen, the Rio Grande Valley is following the latest of what is happening at Rivera High School. Once we're done with today and tomorrow's program, Rivera High School will not be the same. It will be burnt down to the ashes of what we're about to present in this two-part segment that will focus on this high school. But there is a silver lining in all this. While I do anticipate that Rivera High School will be shaken up from the top to the bottom, the silver lining is that the phoenix always rises through the ashes. While many people have turned a blind eye to what has been transpiring for the past 10, people have telling me even 20 years, is very revealing. It's shocking. But it is something that is necessary, because we have had the opportunity to hear from individuals that are concerned, parents, teachers, coaches, administrators. They live in constant fear. Again, we thought that nepotism, that Sylvia Atkinson no longer controlled the district. Well, it seems as if someone took over. Someone took over their spot. Hey, Bravo. Thanks for tuning in, my man. Hope you have a great day, and thank you. Thank you for tuning in. But again, the themes that we'll be talking about is retaliation, abuse, negligence, and harassment. Before, ladies and gentlemen, before we talk about our subject matter, I do want to shed some context into or lay the groundwork, so to speak. That way we can have a better understanding of what we're dealing with. Again, you have a school district that is going to burn down. There is individuals there that know the culture, the dynamics, and have not said a peep. There is an environment where multiple students throughout the course of 10, possibly 20 years have been groomed and have been sexually assaulted. And board members knew, administrators knew. Again, if students talk about this, don't you think that the representatives know? And if they don't know, again, if administrators, if leadership positions at Rivera High School for 20, 10, 5 years ago, if they are not aware of the hostile environment that they have helped foster, they're either naive, they're negligent, or they're plain dumb. Either way, it is not a good look. So again, I ask for your patience because I am going to be painting a picture. That way, when you close your eyes, you see a story that I will be presenting. So please be patient with me, and best believe that once we finish, we'll be able to come full circle and you will understand what exactly is transpiring. As of late, we have had interesting characters that have been addressing issues. Now, the importance of having a platform is very big. The responsibilities of one that comes before you is to provide information. Again, transparency is something that is said way too much. But we find that individuals, once they get in power, they forget about the community. Erasmo Castro showed us how the power of a microphone and social media, how it has, and it speaks volumes. And many people have wanted to replicate that. They see how people tune in, people feed off of information. As of late, we have seen Jazz Marie. Good morning, Jazz Marie Reyes. Thank you for tuning in. Do you have your taco? And yes, this is the Super Bowl, which all of BISD is watching. And today, you have been chosen to be exposed. Again, I ask for your patience. I'm painting a picture, but I promise you, once this is all said and done, we will be coming full circle. I want to make an announcement that this individual who claims to be a retired substitute healer, a gardener, a reader who still works, is someone that has a lot of information that is only privy to certain people. What I want to focus on today is bringing to light, because again, what are we be talking about? Retaliation, abuse, harassment. What has this page shown? That they're a fake. Now, why do people create fake Facebook pages? Well, they create these pages because they want to throw the rock and hide the hand. That's what we call cowards. It's easy for anyone to post on a blank page. I find it funny how individuals feed off of this. And again, if you can't see who that person is, we have problems. Jazz Marie Reyes, ladies and gentlemen, is none other that school board member, Carlos Elizondo. Carlos Elizondo has been using a fake Facebook profile to attack his enemies. The information that he's privy to of having as a school board member, he disseminates. He disseminates behind this page and he blasts people. Again, abuse, harassment, retaliation. Is this what we expect from our board member? Was Ms. Reba McEntire, did she hit it on the head when she said that this school district, this school board is dysfunctional? You best believe it is, because of people such as Carlos Elizondo. What, you thought that after Sylvia Atkinson left that there wasn't going to be a person to take over her spot? What, you think he's your knight in shining armor because he's hooping and hollering and pointing the finger at Eddie Garcia, at Denise Garza, at Jessica Gonzalez, Daniela Lopez Valdez? But what we will be showing, ladies and gentlemen, is individuals such as Carlos Elizondo, who has been using this fake Facebook profile, how he himself is negligent, while he has been pointing the fingers to the outside world using Jazz Marie Reyes. What has been happening? Reba McEntire, did I say Reba McEntire? Reba McNair. Ha! Reba McEntire, the Tammy Wynette. Ha! Thank you. While Mr. Carlos Elizondo is pointing fingers and blaming his oppositions on the school board, what have we seen from Rivera? Again, I pose the question, ladies and gentlemen, who out of the board members have their eyes and ears on a daily basis at Rivera High School? Who would it be? Elizondo. Why? Because his spouse works there. And we'll be showing information of how these individuals, while they blame others, their backyard, which is Rivera High School, has been fostering a hostile work environment. How long has his spouse been at Rivera High School, you may ask? Many years. Many, many years. And what? She didn't know? Carlos Elizondo didn't know of what was happening? He didn't know of how teachers, coaches, administrators, staff at Rivera High School, of the environment that they lived in, where they walked on pins and needles, they walked on eggshells. They knew. Again, if they didn't know, they were naive, they were negligent, or they just plain dumb. And while people are saying, oh, yes, Carlos, yes, he allowed coaches, which we'll be talking about in detail tomorrow, he allowed coaches to groom children and sexually assault them. Why didn't Carlos make us think about what was happening? Because it's not in their best interest to talk about what's going on. Why? Because who wants that negative attention? Who wants that negative press? How do you feel, AOBE, that you sold the farm and bet it all on Carlos and his candidates? How does it feel? Now, you're probably saying, it's easy to accuse people. Well, I have an idea. A little bit of an idea in regards to him. His way of dealing with things is so obvious. Now, Carlos Elizondo, if you go to the Jazz Marie Reyes Facebook page, we find how there are nothing but memes on there. Carlos Elizondo creates memes on his laptop. They're the same memes that Maggie posts. They're the same memes that others share. This text message is from Carlos Elizondo, 956-566-7636. He uses memes on this fake Facebook profile to harass individuals, to target, to bully people. Haven't you caught on already, chat? Haven't you seen of what this individual has been doing? And people applaud him. Oh, yes, yes, yes. How would Jazz Marie, a retired individual who claims to be retired, how would they know what's going on at the district? When something happens, they're always quick to point out. Why is that? Again, you actually thought that this was a real person? Go through their page. This is Carlos Elizondo. But yet, people like Dr. Maggie seem to vouch for him. Is this what we need at the school district? How do you feel, employees of Rivera High School, of knowing that a school board member and his wife have been manipulating situations, and they control and have fostered an environment and a culture at Rivera that is very, very damning? And again, if you go throughout his page, you will see how he only targets the other side. Have you ever heard him talk bad about Farley? Have you ever heard him talk bad about Nelda, about Minerva, about Victor Caballero, his candidates? No. Why? Because those are his horses. Mr. Frank Ortiz, I want to come on the screen. Mr. Frank Ortiz, we are working on a story that is shocking, and you will be exposed in the very near future. So please tune in. I know you will. But have we heard of this fake Facebook profile of targeting these candidates? Again, we've been talking about what's been going on with Farley. There's allegations that a student has made an outcry. Why didn't they talk about this? Because Farley was their candidate. Why haven't they talked about how there was a grievance, a complaint filed against Frank Ortiz that we will be talking about in detail? Why didn't this Jazz Marie bring it up? Because Carlos, Minerva, and Frank are all aligned, and it is not in their best interests to bring this up. Again, Erasmo Castro called them out, and he said, hey, one out of the 4 candidates ain't bad. Again, AOBE sold the farm and bet their money on Carlos's candidates. AOBE, what did that bring you? Nothing. Nothing. Again, look what he posts. Look who he tags. Is very telling, ladies and gentlemen. In his posts, he always tags Maggie. Again, Maggie, are you not aware of who you're dealing with? Either way, Maggie, it looks bad because one, again, you're negligent, you're naive, or you're dumb. Which is it? Do you know who you're dealing with? Do you know the information that you are disseminating? That's what you call harassment, bullying. We have shown how Carlos Elizondo uses memes. We have shown how Carlos Elizondo only targets his enemies. He never talks about his horses in the race. Why? But the most telling of this all, for me, is who he tagged in this post. At the very bottom, ladies and gentlemen, Jazz Marie Reyes, aka Carlos Elizondo, board member Carlos Elizondo, tagged Juan Garcia. Now, who is Juan Garcia? Juan Garcia is an individual that only políticos know. Juan Garcia, and again, I encourage you, don't believe anything I say. Look it up. Juan Garcia, ladies and gentlemen, is a page that was created by Carlos Elizondo shortly after he was fired from the city of Brownsville as the fire chief. And if you go through this Juan Garcia fake Facebook profile, you will see how on that page, the individuals that are targeted are Sheldon, the one who took over for Carlos Elizondo as the fire chief, is Roy de los Santos, who ran against Carlos Elizondo for District 3. Go through it if you don't believe me. Carlos Elizondo was outed by Baltasar Salazar. He got spooked. That is the reason why he stopped using the Juan Garcia page. People started, because Carlos tiene como una rabia. Once he thinks something, once he goes against something, he doesn't know how to be smooth about it. Once he was outed by Baltasar Salazar and saying, hey, Carlos, we know it's you. Ya deja mamadas. He stopped posting. And what did he do? He created another fake Facebook page, which is Jazz Marie Reyes. I am presenting this information because, again, what is happening at Rivera High School? Retaliation, abuse, negligence, and Carlos Elizondo and his wife have been harassing employees at Rivera High School. And the most damning thing about this is that while he's pointing his fingers at the outside world, what was happening in his backyard? Grown men and grown women are scared. They don't know if they're going to work. They don't know if their contract's going to get renewed. While he was pointing fingers at everybody else, and also Carlos Elizondo on the Juan Garcia page and the Jazz Marie page. On those pages, they target Adan Salas. Adan Salas is a registered sex offender that has been around, unfortunately, around political campaigns. And if you go to the Juan Garcia page and the Jazz Marie Reyes page, you will see how Adan Salas is all over that page. Now, again, I pose to you, only individuals in the know, and I have 2,000 people here watching. Damn, chat. Está bueno el chisme. 2,000 people live. Good morning, Brownsville. Sas. Now, only individuals in the know are aware of Juan Garcia. Why is Jazz Marie tagging Juan Garcia? Because it's Carlos Elizondo. He throws the rock and hides. That's an individual that doesn't have the balls to come before you and tell you how it is. Again, what have we been seeing at Rivera High School? A culture, an environment that is hostile in nature, that has caused individuals to question, am I going to have a job? I have kids to feed. They're being harassed. They're being retaliated against. But you have people that are supporting Carlos and, oh, yes, Carlos is in the best interest. Yes. While he was pointing fingers, ladies and gentlemen, him and his wife has been allowing coaches to groom children. And he's a board member. Rivera will be burned to the ashes after tomorrow's program because of the likes of Carlos Elizondo and Cindy Elizondo. Why? Because individuals commit the sin just as much as those individuals that do the deed. Why? Because they did nothing about it. And them as leaders within the school district and city, them as leaders within the school turned a blind eye. You mean to tell me that this environment has been causing individuals to fear, to be in fear? Do you know how horrible that is? It leads to anxiety. It leads to depression. It's not a good work environment. Again, a hostile environment is very detrimental to the overall well-being, performance for their jobs, and overall work experience. But you have people like AOB and Maggie supporting these pages. Nah, hombre. Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought Sylvia Atkinson was bad, Carlos Elizondo takes the cake. Now, again, how is it that when he had this FU shouting match with Pat Perez, a school board attorney, how is it that this retired teacher who was a substitute, how is it that they have all this information that only a board member would know? How is it that 2, 3, let's say 5, 10 minutes after this FU is heard, how is it that he's texting and posting already? You mean to tell me that a retired school teacher with no pictures on their page have all the details, inside information into what's going on at BISD? Really? As soon as things happen, he posts on this fake Facebook profile. Again, is this your school board member? Should you be proud of someone like him who throws a rock? And then what do you call a sociopath, ladies and gentlemen? Look at this. He posts on this Jazz Marie thing and then he tags himself, Carlos Elizondo. Please give us an update on the audit, sir. Really? A sociopath is one that talks to themselves, no? Un loco, no? That's Carlos, ladies and gentlemen. He tries to divert attention from himself, from his people. It's important for us to recognize how individuals such as this are the reason why Rivera High School is the way it is. And again, after tomorrow's program, we will show how it will be burned to the ashes. And from top down, administrators, coaches, counselors, they will be removed. You mean to tell me that individuals that know about children being groomed and fostered and sexually assaulted and nobody does nothing about it? No, something's going to get done. And best believe the community will be demanding answers. But again, there's a silver lining to all this, chat. Behind this dark cloud, there is the expectation. There is that expectation that Rivera will be a better place. We're focused on the hostile environment that Rivera High School is currently under. All eyes are on this program because of the allegations that have been made. But not just that, the hostile work environment that individuals have created because of Carlos Elizondo, because of Cindy Elizondo. Now, today we will be focusing on the athletic department, the demise of the athletic department. Beto Leal got this job at Rivera because of Sylvia Atkinson. Beto Leal did not have the qualifications. This was all a political move. And again, when you think about BISD, it is a big web of friendships, of families, of individuals that protect themselves. job security. Why is it that the Atkinsons, and thank God, I think they're on the outs finally. How is it that they all get cushy jobs? Heck, we just heard about Charlie. But the only reason why Beto Leal was given the job at Rivera High School was because of Sylvia Atkinson. Nobody wanted to hire Charlie because of his attitude. Everybody knows Charlie. Charlie is a piece of crap. The Rivera athletic department was brought down to its knees because of Charlie Atkinson, because of Carlos Elizondo, because of Cindy Elizondo. Beto Leal, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, was not capable of performing his duties as the athletic coordinator and head coach for Rivera. I hate to say that it was an open secret that Beto Leal has an alcohol problem and or a substance abuse problem. It is no secret. Everyone knows. Individuals have stated he couldn't drive to the game. He wouldn't show up to the athletic department. Students didn't even know who the head coach was. So if you have an athletic coordinator, a head coach who is under the influence of alcohol, who can't perform his duties, guess who takes over for him? Mr. Charlie Atkinson. Charlie Atkinson was constantly harassing coaches. Currently, right now, we have grown men that are scared that they have that their contracts are being withheld, while Beto Leal is transferred to a cushy job because of his relationship with Linda Gallegos at Human Resources. He's getting paid just like a coach, $100K, possibly even more. Everyone knows the type of person Charlie is. Now, we focused on Charlie because there's a saying in Spanish that goes, el valiente va hasta el cobarde lo deja. These individuals are only powerful because they are allowed to. And in this case, we will show how Charlie Atkinson openly stated that Carlos Elizondo was his friend on the board. And you best do whatever he said. If not, he'd get rid of you. That was the environment. And look, everybody knows the way Charlie is. He's brusco. He's ballsy. He thinks he's the shit. Oops, sorry. You would think that after his sister caused a great embarrassment to the city, to the school district, to his parents, to their parents, you would think that after that humiliation that Sylvia Atkinson put us all through, you would think that Charlie Atkinson would have been a little more humble. Wouldn't you? No, ladies and gentlemen. Le dio más ánimo, más vuelo. He forced coaches. Charlie Atkinson forced coaches to resign. Coaches were trying their best to do what was right in their eyes, and they were retaliated against. It got so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that Charlie Atkinson would contact parents to complain, to get coaches fired. The parents went to the principal, Obed Leal. They went to Gilbert Leal, the main individual at athletics, Gilbert, and they were shot down. It was an escalation that happened. Why? Because Charlie was being Charlie. Again, you have an individual such as Beto Leal who couldn't function, who couldn't perform his duties because of his substance abuse. And Charlie took the reins. And it's unfortunate that a person such as Charlie is the reason why Rivera, the athletic department at Rivera, is coming down to his knees. The demise of the Rivera athletic program is because of Charlie, is because of Carlos Elizondo, is because of Cindy Elizondo. Harassment grievances were filed that showed that Atkinson was harassing coaches during the workday. Do you think Charlie cared? No, he didn't care. Charlie would say that he was friends with Carlos Elizondo. What are you gonna do? Yo soy el bueno, papá. I'm Charlie Atkinson. They know who I am. He threatened coaches of getting fired by sending emails. People were getting fed up with Charlie because, again, imagine being that employee that you felt hopeless because, one, you had the spouse of the school board member who pushed her weight around the school, who made it known. And Cindy, le encanta el guato. She loves the attention. She loves to push her weight. Hey, my husband's on the board. What's going to happen? She wants to be in those decision matters. She thrives off of that. People were getting fed up with Charlie. Imagine being constantly threatened, constantly harassed of you being fired. Emails would be sent out. Why? Remember, we talked about this. The focal point of our show, of our program today, is retaliation, abuse, negligence, and harassment. Intimidation was big at Rivera High School. It was a culture that coaches wouldn't even show up. They would turn against each other. Oh, I'm Charlie's team. Whoa. Beto's the head coach. No. Charlie runs things. It created a lot of friction, a lot of animosity, a lot of what the heck is going on here? Charlie would fight with all these coaches and the staff. But the way Charlie works is that he'll fight with everyone, but then he'll buy you. Hey, let's go drink. Let's go to a cookout. I got it. Let's go play golf. I'll pay. Let's go fishing. Let's go on my boat. Let's go to the bar. I'll pay the first 2 rounds. Those coaches that hated him, after a while, were getting everything for free. It got to a point where Charlie Atkinson split the coaching staff, split the athletic department. Why? Because he would pay for everything. And unfortunately, especially for someone like Beto Leal, who has a substance abuse problem, he paid for his alcohol. And that's the way Charlie got his way. He gains people by paying for everything. It got so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that Charlie was, and the reasons why Charlie is being moved is because there was an outcry. Charlie was playing cards with a female student, and Charlie thinks in his mind, he thinks he's a high school student. Pobrecito, está más pendex que una madera. He thinks that he's still in high school. Charlie was playing with a female student cards, and he beat her, and he told her, oh, tell your boyfriend I'm your daddy, which angered the boyfriend, and he reported it to the staff. Charlie even attempted to lift the shirt of a female student, claiming she was hiding stuff. Can you see the type of person that he is? Jazz Marie, aka Carlos Elizondo, stated that Charlie Atkinson had an apartment. Well, Carlos Elizondo, of all people, should know about that apartment. It wasn't an apartment. It was a house. And this goes back, again, years. This isn't something recent. No. This happened maybe 10, 12, 13 years ago, where Charlie and other coaches would rent a house. They would rent a room to take women. They would pay rent to use the house, to use the room, to party, to have sex. Carlos knows about this place. He's acting dumb and he's posting on Jazz Marie. Oh, there's an allegation. You know, Carlos. His wife knows about this. She's been at Rivera for a while. She's very aware and in tune of what is going on. Remember when I said about retaliation? Well, whenever individuals would voice their concerns to the head coach and principal. Why? Because Charlie was doing things that were wrong. Charlie was playing kids that failed. He was running kids in track meets that failed. And it is the responsibility of coaches, if you see something wrong that is happening, you got to report it. It is your obligation to report it. But what happened? Charlie always got his way. 3 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, Charlie got into it with a female track coach, and it only took 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, a short time ago, I'll say. Charlie got into it with a female track coach, and it took only 2 days for that track coach to be reassigned to Veterans High School. And you know what Charlie would say? He would brag about it. If you mess around with the bull, that's Atkinson, you get the horns, papa. Yeah, I'm Atkinson. Why was he like this? Because he would threaten people. I know Carlos Elizondo. Pinche Charlie. He even got into a fight with a female track coach online. And when that female track coach responded by saying that the only reason why Charlie received that job was because of his corrupted sister and his sisters, Charlie went to complain to the school board. Now, what school board member is that? Carlos Elizondo. And that track coach was transferred to Veterans, but not as a track coach, but as a regular teacher. Now, again, imagine working in an environment that's toxic, that you have no guidance, no direction, because the head coach, the athletic director, athletic coordinator is boozed up. He can't perform his duties. Imagine that. He's a head coach, but Charlie is giving orders, and oh man, Obed Leal was negligent. This is Obed Leal's first high school gig, and he got the job only because of Linda Gallegos. Whenever these coaches, whenever these teachers would complain to Mr. Leal, Obed Leal, he would say, "Oh yeah, just email me so I could put it in Charlie's file about all the complaints." But staff got frustrated. They questioned, how long is it going to take for me to get some sort of clarification? How many complaints do we have to have on file in order for something to get done? Obed Leal is just as capable, ladies and gentlemen, because he did nothing. He knew what his head coach was dealing with alcoholism. He did nothing. He knew how these coaches were stressed out, walking on pins and needles. The head coach and the principal, they would not protect the staff from Charlie. Heck, Coach Leal, Beto Leal, would never even show up for athletic department. Coaches would not even show up to the athletic department. What do you mean? How are coaches not showing up? Because it's athletics? Again, the reason that the school district is saying that the reassignments of individuals, the assignment of these coaches is because of X's and O's. It's bigger than that, ladies and gentlemen. Do not believe your school district. The reason why these individuals were finally pushed out the way was because of negligence. Individuals knew of what was transpiring and they did nothing. They knew that Beto Leal, unfortunately, was under the abuse of alcohol and he couldn't function. The reputation of all the coaches is tarnished. It got so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that Charlie Atkinson got students to sign a petition to get certain coaches fired. Can you imagine that? You have a coach supporting his own colleague getting fired. Can you imagine the stress to be living under? That's not a good work environment. They aren't able to produce at a high level for being constantly harassed, constantly belittled, constantly threatened. There was even a WhatsApp group with parents where Charlie was coaching these parents on what to say to the principal, because he wanted those coaches to get fired. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? After a while, those coaches got fired. All the hires that Beto Leal made were Charlie's friends from middle school, which angered many seasoned coaches because at the end of the day, you want to work with the very best. You believe in your program and you want your students to get the knowledge and insights from maybe possibly former athletes, coaches that have their record speaks for itself. The coaches were saying, man, Obed Leal is bringing over anybody that Charlie says. And these guys are B teamers. We don't need that. Now, again, we stated at the very beginning that we blame a lot of what is happening on Carlos Elizondo, on the former principal, Ms. Norma Jean, and the current principal, Obed Leal. But also the most damning thing of all this, ladies and gentlemen, is Carlos Elizondo's wife. She pushed her weight on the employees. It got so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that Beto Leal told the coaches that Cindy Elizondo would call him and ask, are you going to fire these coaches? What's going to happen? Let's get rid of them. Can you imagine that? The wife of a board member having those discussions? Why is that? Because she ran free in that school. She made it known, I'm the wife of a school board member. Aquí mis cacahuates truenan. She feeds off of that. It got so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that Charlie Atkinson, and again, our job, ladies and gentlemen, our job is to present you factual information. I am only as good as my facts, ladies and gentlemen. My role before you is always to protect those individuals that reach out. Again, grievances were filed. Allegations of harassment on their person. You're talking about grown adults, men and women who were scared, ladies and gentlemen, who were worried about their livelihoods because of the likes of Cindy Elizondo, because of the likes of Carlos Elizondo. Charlie would include Cindy Elizondo in these emails. And again, my main job is to present facts, but also I have a great responsibility to protect those individuals that reach out to me. Why? Because they are not being made whole. They went through the proper channels. They filed grievances. They went through the process. They expected leadership to address those issues, but it just got worse and worse and worse. My job is to protect them. I was shown emails, but to protect the identity of those making that outcry, I will be submitting a Freedom of Information request on emails that Charlie Atkinson would send administrators, and he included Cindy Elizondo in those emails. Ladies and gentlemen, why would Charlie Atkinson include the wife of a board member in those emails when he was saying, you're going to get fired, this is going to happen to you, you best do what I say, I'm Charlie Atkinson, I'm the bull, baby, yo soy el bueno aquí? Why would he include the wife of a board member in multiple emails? Because he was instilling fear in those people. He was saying, hey, I'm going to get my way because look who I included in that email. Again, what's the role of the spouse of a board member? Is it to deal with the daily hiring and firing of coaches? Is it to be included in those tough decision-making that are only privy to the principal and possibly even the super and maybe even the board members? No, ladies and gentlemen. Now, why would the wife of a board member be included in an email that pertains to administrative matters. Again, she's a guidance counselor. Because of what was happening, ladies and gentlemen. Cindy Lizondo was pushing her weight. Cindy Lizondo was making it known, hey, yo soy la buena aquí, papá. You best do what I say. So everything that is happening at Rivera High School, guess who's to blame? Carlos Elizondo and Cindy Lizondo. You mean to tell me that you did not know what was going on? You did not know that students were being groomed? That sexual assaults have been happening for 10, 20 years with Farley included? They knew. Why didn't they talk about this? Because to them, they're playing the game. It's a game you have to play, and don't cause waves. Don't make any stink about nothing. While they were protecting themselves and trying to further their political careers, coaches, teachers lived in constant fear. Students, their innocence was taken advantage of. Why? Because of people like Carlos Elizondo and his wife. How dare you throw mud at Erasmo Castro? How dare you talk bad about him? And look what the hell y'all were doing. How does the wife of a board member call the head coach and say, hey, let's get rid of him? Why? Because she was pushing her weight. And all you fools that supported Carlos Elizondo, all you fools that share that Jasmine Reyes page, shame on you too. Y'all were bashing Erasmo Castro, and look what happened, how the tides have turned. AOB, your candidate that you chose over Erasmo Castro, he preyed on a child. That young lady, now adult, has come forward. Are you okay with this? Is the expectation of board members to be playing with the lives of individuals? Nobody likes Cindy Lizondo at Rivera High School. From teachers to, they don't like her. Norma Jean was glad that they took her off to veterans. Imagine living under that clout, that negative clout. Again, we will present information. We're trying to protect those individuals that have made the outcries. But we will file a Freedom of Information request. We will show the community that Cindy Lizondo was in these discussions. Why? Because Charlie Atkinson made it known to all of Rivera. Hey, I got Carlos Lizondo on as my friend. And look, I have Cindy Lizondo in this email. You are going to get fired. Imagine the hostile environment. Obed Leal, how do you feel? Cindy Leal is in front of your face, is being all nice. And, oh, yes. But behind your back, mira, te está metiendo el cuchillo, papá. How do you feel, coaches, of having someone like her have that control over your lives? Parents, how do you feel to have individuals such as Carlos Elizondo and Cindy Elizondo look a blind eye while it was an open secret that kids were being groomed, that kids were being sexually assaulted? If you think today's episode is juicy, get ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow will be the thing that breaks the camel's back. Rivera High School will go down in ashes. It will go down in ashes because of Carlos, because of Cindy Elizondo. But again, there's always a silver lining to this. There's always, whenever there's ashes, there's a possibility that the phoenix will rise. All lies All eyes, ladies and gentlemen, are on BISD and in particular Rivera High School. It's the talk of the barber shop. It's the talk of the town. It's the talk of everything right now. Because you're mean to tell me that employees were complaining, were filing grievances for 1, 2, 3 years, and nobody did nothing about it? Are you serious? Hold them all accountable. We want heads to roll. Now, again, we have an opportunity to make it right. I ask of you, Dr. Chavez, to do what's right. You have an amazing opportunity, sir, to show your community that you hold employees at Rivera High School in the highest regards. You have the opportunity to show the parents that send their children to Rivera High School that you have their best interest, and the safety and well-being of their child is the utmost importance for you. After tomorrow, we expect heads to roll. We expect Obed Leal to be terminated, if not moved. We expect Cindy Elizondo to get moved, to get reprimanded. We need to hold these people accountable. Again, if you think today's episode is bad, is juicy, tomorrow's going to be worse. And again, I find no joy in talking about these things. I'm going to be sharing sensitive information that former students have shared with me, and they say, this is happening. People know. If the students know, ladies and gentlemen, don't you think administration knows? Don't you think someone in the likes of Cindy Lizondo, who wants to be a part of it all, wants to be, yeah, I'm cool. She reported directly to Carlos Elizondo. She was his eyes and ears at that school. And yet nothing was done about it? Nothing? It's very alarming whenever we have a situation such as Rivera High School. It will burn down to the ashes, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a good look. We all talk about how teacher morale is at an all-time low. Why? Because of instances such as Rivera High School. That is the prime example. And you had Carlos Elizondo campaigning on teacher morale, campaigning on fighting for the students, campaigning on fighting for the teachers. And y'all believed it, imbeciles. Each and every one of y'all. Y'all are sheep to the slaughterhouse. Because while Carlos Elizondo was pointing fingers to Denise Garza, pointing fingers to Daniela Lopez Valdez, Jessica Gonzalez, what was happening at Rivera? Coaches were being harassed. It was causing anxiety. They were being threatened with their jobs. What was happening to the students, which is even worse? They were being groomed, sexually assaulted by coaches. And what? Carlos Elizondo did nothing about it. Cindy Elizondo did not make a peep about it. Why? Because it's all about ego, unfortunately. To them, these individuals, they're looking out for their own self-interest. This is a game. Ladies and gentlemen, es un desmadre a Rivera. How many people are on chat live? Huh. 3,400 people have tuned in live. Wow. The world is watching, ladies and gentlemen. How does the community feel about a current board member who has the ability to address important issues that are happening in his backyard where his wife works? And he does nothing. He turns a blind eye to what is happening. Why? Because Carlos doesn't care. Carlos is after Carlos. And y'all think he's your knight in shining armor. No, hombre. He played y'all like a fiddle. He thought, oh, yes, Carlos, yes, 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 Marie, yes, 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 yes. Really? How is Carlos gonna respond to this? How is he gonna be able to say, I didn't know what was happening at Rivera? Again, from his Jazz Marie page, once it came to light, and we posted it on Sunday. Well, in all fairness, Bronzo Hood posted it, Susan Rubalcaba posted it, and then we posted it. Again, we never take credit. We're just a part of the cause. But when we posted that about what was going on, that coaches were scared, that coaches were being retaliated against, that children were being groomed. Why is it that now Carlos Elizondo made us think about it? Now he's sending memos to the super. Oh, we need to get to the bottom of this. This is the safety of our kids. Nambe, Carlos, you had your chance, bro. Once you stepped foot in that office day one, you would have addressed the issue. You didn't know that Beto Leal is an alcoholic? You didn't know that he does drugs? You knew. You didn't know that these coaches had a house where they would go party and drink and smash? You knew. You didn't know that these coaches were grooming and sexually assaulting these kids. You knew, but you did nothing. That's despicable. It's alarming, Carlos. And look, Carlos, say what you want, man, but your political career is over. You know it. Your family knows it. The community is going to demand for you to speak up on this. Why didn't you know about this, Carlos? You of all people should know. Ándale, papá, entre al trote. Te querías muy chingón con tu fake Facebook profile y le tirabas mierda a Erasmo Castro. Erasmo Castro siempre dio la cara. Siempre sabías a quién tiraba esa piedra. And you hide behind a fake Facebook page. Qué cobarde. It's sad to see people that support you. Dr. Maggie. No, hombre, Maggie. Were you a part of this too, Maggie? Ladies and gentlemen, heads will roll. The community will demand answers. They deserve to know, why did the board member not make us think about this? He knew what was going on. His wife is there. Again, what is the culture that we've been seeing at Rivera High School? A culture of a hostile environment. Oh, I don't want to be here. I don't know who's in charge. But while it's important for us to recognize the employees, the adults in the room, the most damning thing, ladies and gentlemen, is the kids. Because of individuals such as Carlos Elizondo and Cindy, his wife, they allowed this. They allowed this to happen. What do you call those people that see something wrong and do nothing about it? They're just as guilty, ladies and gentlemen. Just as guilty. While Carlos Elizondo was able to talk down on Erasmo Castro, who was diagnosed with cancer, who was dying, he talked down to him and he said, "Come on, Erasmo, talk, Erasmo, talk, Erasmo, talk." While he's able to talk down on a female, the board secretary, and call her an FU. While he was able to do those, Erasmo's dying on the board and he's rah, 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 rah. Pat Perez, rah, 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 rah. But Charlie Atkinson? Why, Carlos? Why? That's the most sad thing of this all. Que si tienes huevos para hablarle a Erasmo Castro que está muriendo de cáncer. Que si tienes los huevos para hablarle así a una mujer. Pero no tienes los huevos para decirle, Charlie, cálmate tu pedo, güey. Ponte la bola. Not a peep. Carlos Elizondo, you are a piece of crap. Your political career is over. You have nobody to blame but yourself and your wife. What will you tell the community? Your lack of response. What are you going to say? I didn't know? You were a part of this, Carlos. You were a part of this. And by the way, Carlos, Erasmo Castro sends his regards. Now, what now, chat? What now? Heads will roll tomorrow. There's no doubt in my mind. If today's program does not cause administration, does not cause the super to take action, the community will. And if not, TEA is definitely going to get involved. Why? Because students do not feel safe at the school. If today's program does not show you that we have no leadership and power at Rivera High School, and again, this is an isolated incident, ladies and gentlemen. What happens at the other high schools? We just seem to be talking about Rivera High School because of what's been transpiring and the allegations, the very serious allegations that have been happening. Do children feel safe at the schools? Jennifer Lozano, I don't feel safe at my school. Valerie Villarreal, same. I don't feel safe. I want to go home. Individuals, the community demands answers. We want to be told who was negligent in this in regards to the staff. Who was negligent in this? And more importantly, why were coaches grooming? Why were coaches grooming these children? And Carlos Elizondo and his wife didn't know? They knew, ladies and gentlemen. They knew exactly what was going on. If today's program is not damning, tomorrow's, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow's will be worse. And again, I find no pleasure in coming before you and talking about this. I'm embarrassed. I feel sad. I feel sad that former students reach out to me and say, bro, you're so cold and have aura. I feel sad when I see text messages of former students reaching out, of students commenting on here and saying, hey, this is going on. This has been going on for a long time and nothing has been done about it. Tomorrow's program, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be talking about the cesspool of bad behavior. This isn't something that happened yesterday, last year. No. What I can prove, 10 years. What I can prove. And again, I'm only as good as my facts, ladies and gentlemen. I'm only as good as my facts. I can prove 10 years. There's people such as Glenda Ayala, who's been vocal, Kay Hollywood, who's been vocal, who has stated, hey, this Farley thing goes back 20 years. The school district, we are around summer. The school district wants this to go away. Individuals don't want to talk to the community about this. Carlos Elizondo doesn't want to tell you of the den of groomers that he had at Rivera High School. He doesn't want to talk about that. Why? It's not in his best interest. You would think that a person that lied to you, that told you that he was going to be your champion, he had the opportunity on day one that he was elected to make things right. But now, Carlos, now that the volcano is erupting, now that everybody in leadership, your wife included, is looking bad, now it's an issue. Oh, let me send a memo to the super. Oh, let me go on my fake Facebook profile and talk about this. It's too late, papa. The bubble has burst. El desmadre ya se hizo, compa. What are you going to tell your community? That you were negligent? That you didn't know? That you're stupid? Your political career is over, Carlos Elizondo. You know it. Your family knows it. And you're going to try, you're going to be desperate, como dando patas de ahogado. And you're going to be throwing crap. I don't know what. It's going to fall on deaf ears, Carlos. It's going to fall on deaf ears. You had your opportunity to be Brownsville's champion, to bring to light this culture of intimidation, of negligence, of harassment, of abuse on kids, abuse, retaliation against teachers. And what did you do? Nothing. Shame on you. Shame on those people that support you and disseminate and share from your fake Facebook profile. Qué cobarde eres, vato. Que tiras la piedra y escondes la mano. Why do you protect your identity? Everybody knows. I know of all people. You create multiple fake Facebook profiles. There's the BTXI Insider. There's a Ruby something. There's a Rudy Rodriguez. He had an Alberto on YouTube. This guy is a fake and a phony. He tells you one thing, but behind closed doors, he's doing another. And he's not taking action. So I pose to my community this question. What now? What now, chat? What now? The world is watching. Yesterday, I was around a coach from San Benito, and we all agreed it's not a look good. It doesn't look good what is happening at Rivera. All eyes on me. Live and laugh as a third nigga till the day I die. All eyes on me. All eyes are on Rivera High School. Heads are going to roll, ladies and gentlemen. If you think that this mic is not powerful, we learn from the big dogs. We had a great mentor and a great master that we learned from. And he always taught me, you go for the jugular. You give the people what they want. You bring transparency to them. You give the community a voice. If you don't know already, aquí estamos, raza, al tiro y a la orden, para cualquier cosa que se les ofrezca. I want to stress that while this does look damning, and if today's program is not damning, tomorrow's program is going to be even worse. But there is an opportunity, Dr. Chavez, for you to make it right. For you to show your community that you do care and that you are genuinely concerned about what is happening in one of your high schools. You, sir, have the opportunity to send a message, and we hope you do. We want you to send a message to those educators at Rivera that they matter. We want you to show the community that you care about the safety and well-being of your community. You, sir, of all people, have access to everything. If you think that I'm lying, that Cindy Elizondo had control, that she was Carlos's eyes and ears, that she was instilling fear in people by threatening them with their jobs, with their livelihoods, Look into it. If you think I'm lying, sir, I ask you that you look into it, please. You will find how Charlie Atkinson reigned free and he destroyed and he brought the Rivera athletic department to his knees because of people like Carlos Elizondo and Cindy who fostered a culture, an environment that was beyond toxic. Grievances were being overlooked after multiple years, and did nothing. Why? Because Charlie said, I know Carlos. And if you don't believe me, sir, I will be asking for those emails. But you have the opportunity to find those emails. You will see how Charlie Atkinson was instilling fear in staff, and he included Cindy Elizondo in those emails. Why would he do that? Because he was sending a message. I'm Charlie Atkinson, and if you get the bull with the horns because I have Cindy Elizondo here and I have Carlos. Y no te gusta, I'll get you fired. You have the opportunity, sir, to make it right. You have the community that is in uproar. You have a community that is questioning the actions, or in this case, the lack of action from leadership, from Carlos Elizondo, from leadership at Rivera High School. You have the community saying, whoa, 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 whoa. How is so? What? It's been happening for what? Make it right, sir. The world is watching. I humbly ask of you, sir, to get rid of Obed Leal. He is a pushover. I humbly ask of you, sir, to get rid, if not reprimand, Cindy Elizondo. She threatened employees of their jobs. She wanted to play board member's wife. And look what happened to Rivera. Rivera ultimately right now has been a cesspool of bad behavior, of a toxic environment. That's the power that a wife of a board member has right now. We have an amazing opportunity to fight, to show our children that we care, to prove, to send a strong message with an iron fist that our employees will be protected, that our employees are valued, that our employees are respected. And even bigger than that, we have an opportunity to show the world that our children matter. And this is the last time that anyone will groom children at Rivera. And let it be known that this is the last time a child will be groomed at BISD. That is the message that I want to send to my community. You want me to fight? You want me to be your voice? Get behind me, doggy. Porque yo estoy listo para dar tiro. A mí me encanta. I love action, baby. I love it. But more than anything, I'm willing to get behind a community that wants change, that wants a better Brownsville, that wants a better school district. Why? Because what's happening? What's happening? Children are being raped, sexually assaulted. Employees are being threatened. Send a message to the community. I thank each and every one of you for tuning in. It is very difficult. It is very difficult for me to come before you. I don't find joy in bringing to light these injustices. But at the end of the day, if you give me the opportunity, chat, if you allow me to, I will fight. I will carry the legacy of Erasmo Castro, who brought to its people the power, which is the BISD seat, or whatever government entity we run for, because we want to bring change. And if that means that we are going to catch flack, if we're going to catch people that are going to be posting our mugshot for sending a dick pic on Snapchat to an adult, but yet they don't want to talk about Farley, who's sexually assaulting a child. They don't want to talk about Carlos Elizondo and Cindy, who are turning a blind eye to the coaches grooming children for multiple years. If you let me, chat, I will fight for you. I will stick my neck out there. Me encantan los vergazos. Love it. I love it. Aquí estamos con toda humildad y sinceridad. Nos dirigimos hacia nuestra comunidad. Nuestros estudiantes están bajo peligro. La mesa directiva ha demostrado, en particular Carlos Elizondo, ha demostrado que él no tiene los huevos para hablar de esta situación que es muy grave. Muy grave. It's never political. It's never political whenever the livelihoods of children are at stake. It's never political whenever you have employees who are scared for their safety, for their well-being, for their livelihoods. It's not political. It's called doing what's right. Because it is an obligation. If we see something wrong, bring it up, address it. Because if we don't address it, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to get worse. And that is something we've been seeing. That is something that we've been seeing at Rivera High School. Tell that to the parents that children have been groomed. So it's okay, Tucker, for board members to not know about what's going on in their backyard. Again, thank you so much for your time and your attention, ladies and gentlemen. I want to send a clear message. I have no games. I have no friends in this game. My loyalty is that to the community. I owe no favors to no one. I am not aligned with no one. If you give me an opportunity at whatever seat we seek, we will fight. We will be vocal. We will bring about the necessary, the change that we so desperately need within our community. Are you willing to fight? We all have different roles in life. But if you give me an opportunity to be your fighter, if you give me an opportunity to stand together, to use this platform to voice our injustices, I'll gladly do that. Queremos que sepa toda la comunidad que estamos aquí, dispuestos, listos y a la orden por cualquier cosa que se les ofrezca. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday, May 15th. If you thought that today's episode was damning, tomorrow will be worse. We ask that the super send a strong message. We need a shake up from top to bottom at Rivera. Obed Leal needs to be suspended. He needs to be let go for his negligence. Cindy Elizondo needs to be suspended. She needs to be relocated, reassigned, reprimanded. She cannot play board member. She cannot threaten individuals with their livelihoods. My name is Frankie Olivo, and this is Good Morning Brownsville. Tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. I believe it should get good. 9 a.m., same Batman time, same Batman channel. Thank you so much for your time and your attention, ladies and gentlemen. I think you'll be here tomorrow because it's going to get worse. Peace.